First up tonight, let's head straight to Canberra. Nationals MP Keith Pitt joins me from Parliament House in Canberra now. I saw pictures of you frocked up last night with your Queensland scarf heading into the midwinter ball. What sort of lunatic programs the midwinter ball on the night of the State of Origin, Keith?
Well, that was exactly what I was talking about with Prime Minister Albanese right after I said Queensland's going to belt you. I think it went something like that, Steve. And I said to David Crowe as well when I congratulated him on winning an award last night, why didn't you just move the midwinter ball? It's State of Origin. How
good were the Maroons? I went home and watched the second half. The intensity around the ball from those predominantly young Queenslanders was just unbelievable.
I've only seen the highlights, but it was fantastic. And I've got a couple of mates who knew I wasn't watching the game, so my phone just received text constantly. Pretty good updates, actually. But they played very well. New South Wales had more ball than Queensland. I think they had their opportunities from what I can see in the stats. But the Queenslanders shone through. Good on them.
Do yourself a favour, crack a beer, watch the replay on the weekend, Keith. It was amazing. Let's talk power prices. Very importantly, it looks like they're going up another 30% next month, despite this promise that was made before the election. Have a listen.
Reducing power prices by $275.
By 2025, $275 a year.
$275 a year.
We'll get power prices down by $275 a year.
What happened to the $275 a year reduction? Everybody's paying more.
Steve, we've seen reports today where some 90,000 can't pay in one provider alone. We saw Brisbane reported an increase of some 32% for the March quarter. Regional Queensland's copping 28% in the neck. And it's this Labor government that says an increase is a decrease. So we just don't understand, mate, apparently. Increases are actually decreases. People should be happy, apparently, with where it's going. They can't pay. They're having trouble with their rent. They're really struggling. We saw a 10% increase in people taking up extra jobs in the latest lot of stats. That's because they can't pay their bills.
Why can't you nail the government on it, though? I mean, I watch Question Time all the time, and every time a question's asked of either the Prime Minister or Jim Chalmers or, God forbid, Chris Bowen, they just stand up there and quote figures back, trying to deny power prices are going up. Every Australian, and not many watch Question Time, but everybody who is watching goes, well, hang on, how can you say that? My bill has gone up by $50, $60, $80, $100. I mean, and we're not even talking businesses, Keith. It's killing people.
That's exactly right. And you are on the money. And the Australian people, they just can't pay. They know what their bills are. They know they're increasing. They see them on the fridge. They know they're struggling at the end of every month and every quarter. And for Mr Albanese and Mr Bowen in particular to stand at the dispatch box and tell Australians that they don't know how good they've got it and things are actually decreasing, not increasing, because of their genius in the last 12 months, I think firstly it's an embarrassment, and secondly I think it's an insult to the Australian people who are doing it tough.
You're lucky to live in Queensland. I mean, I'm in Victoria. It was 6 degrees when I walked out the front door this morning. I was listening to Talkback Radio yesterday. Have a guess what there's a boom in sales of? Hot water bottles. Because people can't afford to turn the heating on in their house, everyone's going back to the old-fashioned hot water bottle and sticking it down the end of the bed.
Oh, that's exactly right. And you've also seen these announcements where they want to get rid of your gas heating and your gas stove. I don't know anyone that wants to give that up. And yet you've got governments, local governments, state governments, Labor's Environmental Action Network, the left of the Labor Party, all suggesting Australians have to give up those products because it's a benefit to the environment. Well, what about the individuals that paid for them and can't afford to have them changed? They just want to be warm, they want to cook their food, they want to pay their bills and live their life without this interference. Unfortunately, this is the government we have.